So here's the deal. I don't know what's happening with the lens here, but probably good enough. So there's just, I said this over and over again, a buttload of bees. I didn't find the queen, but you can see one of the problems when you get hives so full is they are literally just coming out everywhere. So as soon as I smoke these bees, they go down in, right? But then by the time I come over to get some of these down in to put this box back on, they're already coming out. And so this becomes quite a hassle. So I'm gonna hope that I don't. Now, I need to be gentle because, all right, what did I find? On the bottom box, there's a couple more queen cells, obviously a bunch in here. I didn't find the queen down below. Again, there's no perfect science to this. It doesn't mean I will. And so my choice is I could just split these and assume the queen is in one of them, and maybe with some more room, she'll be okay. To be honest, there's so much brood. And this is one of the problems about my current location is, again, I'm kind of in a more neighborhoody area, not fully neighborhood, because like I said, there's a big field behind you right here. I'm not sure I'm ready to try and expand. And there's so much brood in here that when the queen leaves and takes some of these bees along, there's a lot of brood coming behind. And so that brood just needs to last long enough for the queen to fly out and mate and come back. My hunch is the queen might be in here because bees, so here's what's happening. Bees will go to their queen, and I keep finding bees sticking around, maybe in this one. So I could try and go through this again. I'm going to disturb those queen cells a second time. I've already broken a bunch of them because of how they put them in. They were forming them on the bottom and they were going in between these cracks. And so any movement just broke them open. And so I think what I'm going to do, since I didn't find the queen, you know, and I did actually spend some time going through that bottom box and this top one, but it's just so many queen cells, I kept being frustrated with what I was hitting. I'm going to make the decision, this time around at least, to let nature take its course, and to take, just make sure I'm not going to put my hand in a bunch of bees here, to let these bees do what they're going to do. Now, some concerns. Oh, that one's heavy. Some concerns are that there's no guarantees here. There's no guarantees anyway. I mean, I have a very good queen who's laying lots and lots and lots of eggs. And so I'm going to lose her, most likely, unless I happen to see the swarm and am able to catch the swarm, or someone nearby tells me about the swarm. But there's just so much. Normally what you would do is just call it a walkaway split, because if you just put the hive right next to this one, then the bees will fly out, and when they come back, they're going to go to the old hive, because that's what they know. And so usually try and walk it away, you know, a couple hundred feet. I don't really have that luxury right now. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is let nature take its course. And if I happen to catch a swarm, then I can make that decision. I can put the swarm in a new box and, you know, get one that way. But for right now, I think that's my choice. And I have all this honey, so I am still going to come back in here next, maybe Friday, and to see how far they've gotten in the week. It's going to get a bit cooler this week. Now I'm sliding this over. I'm going to unfortunately kill some bees, but not as many as if I just, you know, try and slide them off. All right, but there's a lot of bees on here. You can see that on the front. You can hear the buzzing. I know I keep forgetting I have this other mic on. So I know you can hear that buzzing, and that's what I hear all the time when I'm in here. But there are lots of bees here. So that's the choice this time. Now I do also think if I continue, one thing I will probably keep working towards is maybe moving to 10 frame hives somehow. The boxes themselves, you know, they're expensive, but I think probably the better situation. I think what happened is because I chose 8, Like if I had 10 frame hives, I would have approximately the equivalent at this point of another box already of my 8 frames, right? So if I had 4 10 frames, I would have 8 more frames in there, because I'd have those 2 extras per box. So I'd have essentially a whole nother box in this setup, and that would give them some more space. You know, is that the right answer? I don't know. This is just what bees do. It's hot. She's laying eggs a lot, and so they want to split. Not a whole lot I can do about it. So that's the choice for this one. So now what we'll do, I'll let this roll for a little bit and I'll move the camera, is we'll see what's going on over here. I'm going to assume it's the same. I'm going to assume that I have a lot of queen cells, and you know, they want to split, but maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe. Probably not. Yeah, they are all over the camera now. They're kind of annoyed. So you can see all the bees on the front of that. You know, that's them having come out from me being inside. This one's a little bit calmer right now. If you remember, this is the one that when I started this whole gig back in April, had a lot more bees initially. And she was also laying a ton of drone cells. So let's see what happens over here. It's just taking a long time. It's warm out. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit annoyed, but that's what happens. You know, the bees, can't do anything about it. We'll put some more wood chips in here just to keep the smoker going. They're a little bit wet down there, which is what I would like to slow this down a little bit. All right, here we go. All right, so there's a chance that this one has already split. I noticed one thing already. There's not nearly as many bees. And there's not nearly as many bees at the front, which is interesting to me. I have not had to smoke them yet. A lot of activity. They're doing work. That's good. I'm going to lay my lid in the middle so I can put stuff in the middle here. Don't really need to smoke these that much. They aren't doing that much right now. So same deal. We just want to see how they're doing on honey production. This is one of my, I think I'd said in one of the previous videos, this is one of my the boxes that my dad built me. Okay, now this one is crazy. This is completely full, completely covered. So this honey is ready for harvesting. And all of the ones I can see, I'm not even going to spend much time up here. They're all covered and ready to go. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right, so I have honey here. So that's encouraging. Yeah, all of these are just full. I'll just show you really quickly. So they're all like that. So I think I have at least 5 or 6, maybe even close to 8 that are completely covered. So that honey is ready to harvest. So there are now at least, I'd say 8 frames worth of honey to harvest next weekend for Father's Day, which is probably what I'll announce, see if people are interested in taking part. Do it Saturday or Sunday. Got to figure out how to do it in this new location that I'm at. It's nice to be in a place where it's covered, and yeah, just, sorry, I'm just quickly going through all these now. The other thing, again, I'll show you this really quickly. Yeah, covered. This is great. Yeah, completely new. So I put this one in, it was empty, and notice how they have just built all this new comb out just in the last 2 weeks or so. So that's exciting. So they need a place to store honey, and they're doing it. All right, so I have honey to harvest. That is good. I can get people over here. We'll have a honey party. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know why I just said honey party. That's weird. Harvesting party. But that is awesome. No idea what kind of honey it will be. I'm guessing mostly kind of wildflower clovish honey. I see a bunch of clove in the field behind the camera there. So right now that's what would be coming in. That's a very early summer kind of deal. So not as many bees up here. Oh, that is really heavy. So yeah, that is easily 40 pounds, maybe more. All right. So yeah, my guess is, here's my guess, is that this hive has already split. That one's going to do it this week. So I've already lost queens. There's just so much, there's just so few bees in here by comparison to that hive. That's a good indicator that there's less action. Now, when I was out here yesterday or 2 days ago, I guess, okay, so these are really stuck together. My wrists are a little bit not awesome right now, and so this is a challenge. Oh, and I also have a frame. One of these frames is falling apart. So let's see if we can get that one out. I think. Ow, darn you. Got caught in between my... Pull the stinger out there. Whew. Oh, that's gonna hurt. No, this guy's upset. Oh, it's at the base of my pinky. That hurts. Okay, so let's see if we can get one of these out. Just got stuck as I was curling my finger around, flew up there, and she got stuck in there. All right. So this is what I don't like about bees. Okay, so there are queen cells here as well. 2 of them. Yeah, 2. One that's in good shape. So they are, I think they've already split. Just the reduction in number of bees. So somewhere out here, could be anywhere. I didn't see it happen. But there are some bees up here. Okay, they're getting really annoyed at me right now. I'm not even that far down in. This is interesting. This is the frame that's busted, I believe. Yeah, so this one is off. Yeah, they're filling up with lots of honey. So there's queen cells on that one. There's brood on some of these, honey on some of these. They're just confused. So these bees, I think we said previously, yeah, they are. That's the 3rd or 4th sting now. I might just have to let these guys go because I'm not, I guess I could put my gloves on. I'm trying to see if I see, yeah, there's a queen cell that's been split open. Oh, that one hurt. That one's actually red. All right, I'm going to put my gloves on. I'm not exactly sure why they're going after my hands so much right now. That is not, to be honest, it's not super typical. But I do want to get down and just see, at least in the next box down, how many bees are down there. Give me an indication if we have swarmed or not. So, with gloves on. So I'm just tired of getting stung. Yeah, and there's not nearly as much brood. This is honey. These are the new frames. I am honestly surprised and impressed they've built out all this new wax. These are frames that did not have a lot of wax on them before. So, well, if nothing else, this hive has produced a lot of honey. What we want to see is how the brood is down below. I have a couple more queen cells. And I have drone, but sorry, smoke was coming up here. But I don't have yeah, this is all honey. Like I'm impressed. A little bit of drone over here. So the annoying part is when they put drone on these honey frames, like most of the frame is honey and then there's a little bit of drone on the bottom. It's just as annoying because it's really hard to spin those, like what I have done in the past. is I'll tape around the bottom with like duct tape or something so that nothing can come out, and then I'll scrape the honey frames open, the honey cells open. It's just weird and annoying, to be honest with you. I prefer not to have to do that, but that is one of the problems of dealing with not having a queen excluder. So if I had a queen excluder, I would have put I actually meant to bring it out. I don't think I did. I was going to show you. It's like a metal thing that goes, or it can be plastic, but the slats are just big enough. Okay, so there's queen cell, there's a queen cell. Slats are just big enough. Got to be gentle not to break that one open. So if she's gone, I want to be really careful with the queen cells because they've got to get a queen to continue. If I've lost the swarm, it is what it is. And I'm sure I have. Like they're angry, they're just kind of annoyed at me. There's 2 hives, 2 boxes of a lot of honey. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bees in here, don't get me wrong. So I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 queen cells that were attached, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they were attached down below, and so this was a developing queen in that cell, and she was probably a week or so away from being a queen. But by the way they have it attached, as soon as I lifted that up, it's attached to the wood down below. So it could be part of the reason they're pissed off, is because all these cells have opened up. And so, yeah, it's just unfortunate. But there are a couple queen cells still that are in good shape. So we just want to see how much brood is left in here, because what happens again, the queen, you know, tries to lay a bunch of brood so that this hive is in good shape when she leaves. And then, but I haven't seen that up above. Put this up there. It's all honey, which is good because I want honey, but bad if I want this hive to survive. So just as an eyeball down through here, I can see some brood. I don't see a lot of brood, I don't think, but it could just be my viewing angle. Let's see what we got here. All right, so this frame is almost empty, and it's mostly honey. There's a little bit of larva in there. So that's interesting. They were trying to make this, it's a weird pattern. I mean, they're together where they're laid. So she was in here within the last, I'd say, 5 to 6 days, which would match up with what I've seen. So there has been a ton of activity in this hive out front, but this morning and today, as we've been doing with the other one, not as much. So, all right, totally covered brood frame. That's great. Again, there's a lot of bees in here. There's just not nearly as many as over there. So that one's going to swarm, I'd say, in the next 24 hours, I would guess. So I could keep my eye out. Now it's going to get cooler, so I don't know what that's going to mean. Maybe they'll stay close. Yeah, just not nearly as many bees in here. How many hundreds of times are you going to say that, Ryan? Well, it just is what it is. So I would all but guess, I'm not being terribly careful because my guess is the queen's already gone. She swarmed and went somewhere. All right, so what does that mean? What that means is this. We will now watch these hives, and what should happen is one of those queens will, I'm going to let this hive go for, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe. And there's some more queen cells right there. They're intact. So this hive will get a queen, in theory. One of those cells is going to emerge. If hopefully she's healthy, she'll run around and kill all the other queens that were laid. And then she will fly away. Now my hope is, honestly, there's this big field right here. My hope is there's just some drone bees out there waiting to mate. And she won't have to go that far. And then she'll come back to the hive and start laying eggs. So that takes about 3 weeks. When all is said and done. There's a lot of drone in here. And couple more queen cells. They tried to make some queen cells. Yeah, there's one there that's complete. It's funky looking. Okay. So, that is my decision. I could go down in the last box. I have like 2.5 really solid frames of brood waiting to emerge, a few more that are like developing. A really big hive, so they're going to produce a lot of honey right now because they don't have a lot else to do. So that's not bad. That means that one's going to go crazy with honey here soon, most likely. Yeah, I'm glad I put on gloves. I think these have just been a little bit more annoying anyway. These bees, okay, so there's a lot of brood right here. Okay, so what I can say is the queen did her job before she left. And there's a bunch, okay, so these are called superseding queen cells, or emergency queen cells, and I'll show you why. So the queen is gone. I'm as positive as I can be. I'm still seeing larvae, but that means she was here, you know, within the last week or so. So let me show you these. These are called superseding cells or emergency cells. These are emergency cells. When they build a queen cell off of an existing frame of brood like that on the side rather than off the bottom, then that is kind of an emergency. They just need more queen cells. There's 2 over here. These are interesting. They're kind of built off the top. So that was like, well, we had a bunch of queen cells, but we're not sure what to do about this one. And we're just going to create some more just to be sure. And so that's what they did. And those are called emergency queen cells. They didn't develop inside of the queen cups I showed you before. So the queen is gone. I'm sure of that. Just not nearly as many bees. I know it seems like a lot of bees, but not nearly as many bees as next door. And I see larvae in here, but again, that is days old larvae. So yeah, just judging by the overall content of the hive, I just don't believe the queen's here. I think she probably left yesterday because there was a lot of activity even 2 days ago. So my guess is she left yesterday. It was really hot, probably swarmed. I was mowing. Maybe this morning she swarmed. It's hard to say. So we're just gonna let this one go as well. So maybe there's a chance that I'll get one of these swarms, and that one swarms over there. Maybe I'll get it. Yep, she left a lot of brood. So this hive is also going to do very well, at least for some period of time, as long as, and there's another 2 more queen cells right there. So as long as we can get a queen to breed, you know, to mate, and everything is successful and she gets back, then we should be good to go. More brood. All right, there's plenty of bees. I'm not going to spend any more time here. They're doing what they need to do, and now I just got to be gentle putting this back together, and then we'll see what happens. So we'll leave this alone. I think there's a bee possibly crawling up my leg. That's annoying. Never enjoy that. Okay, so we have the same situation here where there's just a lot of bees. You can hear them. They're very upset now. They're flying all around me. They're kind of annoyed. They know I'm being stupid. See if I can get any more smoke going here just so I can get these back together. All right, so here we go. Now the reason I'm going to lay these down rather than sliding is because I know there's a queen cell or two hanging off the bottom, and so I'm just hoping that by not sliding, but there's a lot of honey in here, so that's good. So I will message friends and start to set up a honey harvesting party next week. And then, whoo, oh my goodness, that is super heavy. It is hard to, that's the one thing about obviously honey being at the top of a hive. You have a tall hive, you end up having to lift that all the way up there. Okay, so that's that. We have one that the queen has left, one that the queen is about to leave. What we'll see in about 2 weeks, if I wait, well, so I'll be in here next week just to get the honey out. But what we'll see in 2 weeks is there'll be no more queen cells. So the queens are gonna, whatever queens have survived my taking this all apart, are going to, it's interesting, all the bees have bearded back here. Maybe I'll take the phone off and show you. I don't normally see that. I'm not sure what to make about that, honestly. Huh. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Except the queen is definitely still in here. I mean, there's just so many bees. But the queen is definitely still in there. So we hope that the queen will survive here. Let me take the phone out and I'll show you what's going on back here. It's kind of interesting. I'm not used to seeing this. Here are those bees, huh? So here's what's going on with these. They're just pouring out. And then this is odd. I'm just not used to this. So they have bearded on the back here, which could mean the queen is in there somewhere. Like it's weird. Like it's almost like they've swarmed, but to the back of the hive. If I put my hands in there, now again, thankfully I have my gloves on, but they are, yeah, the queen is still in there. Why they're not going in, I can't quite say. Huh, it's very interesting. Yeah, that's fun. All right, I'm gonna shake these bees off. That's fun, huh? All right, well, so we'll see. I already have swarms, so the queen I paid for, again, hives like this are not cheap to get started. So the queen I paid for is gone. The queen I paid for is about to go, and now we're gonna kind of be left with, we'll see who she mates with and go from there. Again, I'm actually really hopeful maybe I'll see a swarm and I can catch that swarm then, and then we'll end up with 3. Like I'd be okay to have 3 hives right now. Let's see what happens. Here's the field I keep talking about. My neighbors have solar